I'm Melissa Samuels, Director of Alumni Programs at the University at Albany Alumni Association. Welcome to tonight's first Mindful Monday. Excited to be getting this program off the ground. Before we get started, I had just a couple housekeeping items I wanted to share with you. First, we will be recording tonight's session. Second, you're welcome to leave your sound on unless you have a lot of noise going on in the background, in which case it would be great if you could mute. We will be using the same Zoom link for subsequent Mondays, but I will be sending that to you again in a follow-up email. So just wanted to let you know that. And then finally, we will be saving some time at the end of today's session for questions. So if you have questions for our facilitator, he will be saving some time at the end to address those. So let me introduce our facilitator today. Nikhil Jain was introduced to meditation in 2008, soon after arriving in the United States as an international student from India. He immediately recognized the benefits of meditation, such as better sleep, better concentration, increased focus, and since then has been finding ways to create awareness around this important topic of mental wellness. Over the last 10 years, Nikhil has taught meditation and breathing techniques for stress-free living to thousands of students and working professionals, and we are very lucky to have this alum with us tonight. So Nikhil, happy to get started.
Thank you, Melissa. Somebody give me a thumbs up if you can hear me okay. All right. How are you all doing? It's starting to warm up a little wherever you are. And if you are in the South, I hope it's not gotten too hot for you yet. March is one of my favorite months when I'm starting to anticipate spring. I live in Minnesota now, so. Welcome you all to today's session. Before we begin, I'll take a couple of volunteers if somebody would like to share if they've had any meditation experience in the past, and if so, how has it been for you? Anybody?
Hi, my name is Mia Stuffelbeam. I'm an alumni from UAlbany. I've had a little bit of experience with meditation. Most recently, I did a guided future self meditation, which was really interesting. So I'm looking forward to diving deeper into this.
Cool. Thanks for sharing, Mia. Would anyone else like to share?
I'll share. I'm Nicole, and I also have had some experience doing meditations. I'm really excited for this because I like being able to do it in groups. I mean, obviously it's not as easy these days because you have to find, different Zoom groups and stuff. So I'm really excited for this.
Cool. Thank you for sharing, Nicole, and welcome. Okay, looks like a lot of our audience is a meditation virgin. So I'm going to turn the mic to those who are doing this for the very first time, not had a meditation experience. What brings you here today? What is it that you're looking for in today's session?
Hello, I'm Melody Nunez. Hi. So I actually have experienced meditation before, guided imagery. I'm in a couple different meditation virtual meetings. What I'm looking for today is just to learn some new techniques, how to relax, take some stress off, especially during these crazy times that we're going through.
Right. Yes. Oh, what a year we've had, 2020, right?
Yeah, and it's still going.
Yes,
it's extended.
Yes. Yeah. I have to say, as hard as 2020 has been for all of us, I have been sort of relieved to see one thing, that people have started realizing that taking care of their own physical and mental well-being is so important, right? And it's given us that opportunity to just sit and take stock of where we stand in life. What is working for us? What is not working for us? how do we better take care of ourselves, our families, our loved ones, things that had sort of taken a backseat while we were pursuing academic or professional careers, right? So in that sense, I think 2020 has given us all a wake-up call on what is most important for us in our life, right? Which is probably why I reached out to Melissa a few months ago that, hey, let's offer this. Let's do this for our alumni and our faculty, staff, students, because this is the need of the hour. I've been teaching meditation for 10 plus years now, and never have I ever seen more interest in meditation. So once again, I welcome you all. And today's topic is the power of vital force. So when I say vital force, there's a word in an ancient language called Sanskrit. There's a word in that language which is prana. How many of you have heard about the word prana? If your video is on, you can just raise your hand so I'll know. If not, you can use the reactions emoji and give me a thumbs up. Yeah, okay, quite a few of you have heard about prana. You may have heard about the word chi, as in Tai Chi. Yeah, so more people are nodding their heads on this one. Okay, so you've heard about chi. Chi and prana are pretty much the same thing. It is the vital force in us. So on a day, let's say you've woken up and you're feeling like you're going to conquer the world today, right? You're woken up feeling really positive. You've woken up feeling like, I feel good, right? What is it that makes you feel good? It's the vital force. When the vital force is high in us, that is when we feel all these positive emotions. Our thoughts are positive. Our memory is not clinging to so many negative experiences that have happened in the past. Now, on the other side, when the vital force is low, then what happens? Anybody? Then what happens is the exact opposite, right? Our mind gets stuck on the downside. If somebody does even a small thing to bother us, we just get caught up in that, and our mood is ruined, our day is ruined. Isn't it? Hasn't that been our experience? We're feeling a little low, and someone does something even ever so small, like you're driving on the highway and somebody just realized very late that they had to take this exit, but they're not in the correct lane to take the exit, so they just cut across from you, right in front of you. And then what happens? The rest of your 2-hour drive is completely ruined, and all you can do is think about what a jerk that person was. Had that experience? Yeah. Whereas if you're really feeling positive and good, somebody does that, you're like, oh, well, whatever. We brush it aside, isn't it? If we really think about it, the quality of our life is dependent on the state of our mind. If our state of mind is positive, even small things bring us joy. If our state of mind is negative, the biggest things cannot bring us any joy and happiness. And that is the importance this vital force has in our life. When our vital force is high, our state of mind is positive. When our vital force is low, the opposite. Right? So it would be a good idea to keep the vital force high, isn't it? Yes? Yes? Okay, if you want to say yes, you can unmute yourself and say yes. I like to hear some voice at times.
Yes.
Yes.
Yay.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yes, yes.
All right. Okay, so we're all on the same page here. So now the million-dollar question is, how do we raise our vital force, right? We all understand, we all agree that it's good to have more vital force. How do we get it? There's 4 primary sources for vital force. Now, 2 of those have been with us since we were born. We've been using them over and over again to get this vital force going up in our life? Anybody wants to venture a guess? But the first one is the most basic source of energy for us.
Food.
Food. All right, if we were doing this in person, I would be carrying lint truffles and you would have gotten one. Absolutely. So food is one of the most primary sources of energy, a vital force for us. How long can you go without food? What do you think?
3 days.
Oh, wow.
I don't know. If you have water and you're in the desert, I don't know.
Okay, well, I can probably go 2 hours before I need a chocolate. The food, right? I mean, food is such a critical source of energy for us. Like, we cannot survive without food for too long. And if we try to, what happens to our state of mind? If you've been hungry for a while,
Get
your
cranky.
state of,
We get mean.
yeah, yeah. You get mean, hangry. Yes, yes, that's the word I was looking for. Yes. So we all understand the value of food, but how much attention do we pay to it? Not a lot, right? It's not just food, it's the right quantity of food. Have you noticed that if you go for this Chinese buffet on a Saturday afternoon and it's an all you can eat buffet and you're like, I'm paying $20, I'm gonna get the value for my money. And you eat, you eat, you eat, you eat. At the end of the meal, once you've paid the check, are you feeling super energetic at that time? No. No. Quite the opposite, isn't it? So it's not just food, it's the right amount of food. Also, food at the right time, right? And the quality of food. So all these factors put together make food as a very important source of vital force of energy. The second one is, anybody wants to venture a guess?
Love.
Love.
Yes.
Absolutely. Love is definitely a big source of energy. We're going to come to that very soon.
Sleep.
Sleep. Yes. Okay. This is whoever said that gets the second lint truffle. Sleep is such a critical source of energy, isn't it? If you've not slept for 2 nights in a row, what happens to your state of mind?
Fuzzy.
Yeah. What happens to the state of mind of people around you? Yeah, if we have not slept, then what happens is not only is our own state of mind compromised, we compromise other people's state of mind around us. Yes. On the other side, if you had a nice, night's sleep, if you wake up feeling very positive and fresh, isn't it? The sleep is a big source of energy for us. But
well, and it's easier to eat healthy when you get a good night's sleep and you're
absolutely.
They work hand in hand.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. But when we're talking about sleep, it's not just sleep. It's the right amount of sleep, right? Let's say you have an exam tomorrow or a big meeting and you only got 2 hours of sleep. You all said, right? You're not slept enough, our state of mind is compromised. But also, if you slept in on a Sunday and you've woken up at like 2 in the afternoon, do you wake up feeling super energetic? No, right? We get groggy, right? We just want to lay in bed for a little while longer, isn't it? So sleep, the right amount of sleep is so important. Yeah. At the right time also. Right? If you go past your bedtime too much, can you just continue sleeping for 8 hours whenever you go to bed? No, right? So you don't get the right amount of rest if we don't sleep at the right time, the right amount. Now, food and sleep are two sources of vital force that have been with us. We've had some awareness towards them. We've been using them over and over again. Today's session is not to dive into these two. Today's session is about the other two sources, the hidden two sources that have also been with us, but we've not been paying that much attention to them. So the third one is something that's also been with us all along, but we rarely ever think about it. And I'll give you a hint. It's right under your nose.
Breath.
Yay! All right, this one actually counts for 2 truffles. Oh, I wish we were together in the room right now in the in-person meeting. Anyway, so the breath, right? The breath is such a critical source of energy for us. Now, what's the value of your body if there was no breath in it? Nothing, right? What's the first act of our life? What is the first thing we do when you're born?
Right.
Breath.
We take an in breath and then we cry, right? What's the last act of our life?
Breath. Out breath.
Last breath.
Exhale.
The out breath, the exhale, right? And then we hope that other people cry. In between that first and the last act of life, we're breathing continuously nonstop the entire lifetime. And yet, how many times are we even aware that we are breathing? Not very often, right? Only when we're running on a treadmill, or when I was growing up, I used to be always late for my school. So my school bus I would be running behind my school bus to the next stop. And then I would board the bus and I'd be like, right? Not very often that we are even aware that we're breathing. But breath is known to release most of the toxins from our system. It is such a powerful source. It's a powerhouse of energy for us. Do you know how much air we breathe in a day? Anybody wants to take a guess? It's about 3,000 gallons of air that we breathe in a day.
Wow.
Yeah. And through the action of the breath, our body gets rid of a lot of unwanted things that it continues to store otherwise. Right? Now, the question that would come is, okay, so what? I've been breathing all my life, right? So what do I do about the breath? The trick here is to actually understand how we can modulate our breathing in different rhythms to bring about a profound, very tangible change in our state of mind. Yeah. There was a research done at the Harvard University a few years ago, where what they did was they had this group of people. They made them watch certain television shows that would invoke certain emotions in them. And what they did was, when these emotions were invoked, they looked at their breathing patterns. So they were able to correlate different breathing rhythms with different emotions. And they said that, okay, so every emotion has a corresponding rhythm in your breath. Now, this is something we all know, right? When you're happy, how's your breath? It's generally very relaxed. When someone is sick, how's their breath? Have you noticed in hospitals or in very, senior homes, people would make the sighing sound and their exhalations are really long? May have noticed that. I noticed that with my grandmother when she's sick. She would exhale much longer. Yeah? How's your breath when you're very excited? It's a little faster, right? or your in-breath is generally longer. When you see a rose, how do you smell a rose? Right? You don't do, right? So the in-breath, the long in-breath is associated with certain emotion. Similarly, how's your breath when you're angry? I'm sure this one, a lot of people are gonna have some experience with this one. It's sharp and shallow, isn't it? So we all know, we've all experienced this, that every emotion has a corresponding rhythm in the breath. What these researchers did was they went a step further. And what they did was they took another group of people and they told them to breathe in certain rhythms, in certain patterns. And then they noticed their brain activity. And they found that the same emotions were triggered in their mind, in their body, that were associated to those breathing patterns. So now that is something very useful because what that tells us is that by changing the rhythms of the breath, we can have a say on our state of mind, right? Otherwise, if you just try to tell your mind to do or not do something, how often are you successful with that? But there's a lot, not very successful. There is a rule in the realm of the mind. It is, you cannot control the mind from the level of the mind. You cannot think to think something. You cannot tell your mind to think or not think about something. Yeah. But breath is something that allows us a tool to have a say on our state of mind. That is the value of breath. That is the value of different modalities of breath. And today we're actually going to learn a very useful breathing technique that allows us to raise this vital force right away. It's called the Bellows Breath. We'll get to that in a couple minutes because we're still yet to talk about the fourth source of energy. Anybody wants to take a guess what this is? Fourth state of energy is a calm state of mind. A state of mind where we're not stuck in the past or the future, where we're calm, where we're relaxed. That itself provides us the energy. A disturbed mind is one of the biggest drains of energy. And I'm sure you all have had an experience with that. When your mind is disturbed about something, do you feel really excited about going out and doing something? Not really, right? State of mind has a big impact on our level of energy. So a calm, positive state of mind. How do we get that calm, positive state of mind? There's many different ways. Meditation is a very useful way to get there. Love, being around loved ones, is definitely a big source of energy in that sense. Being in nature, playing or listening to music that you like, right? Being in the company of pets or family members, definitely, right? Different things can bring you that joy. Different things can bring you that calm, relaxed state of mind. Meditation, I know, has been one of the most profound things that does it immediately. And I can do it without requiring anyone else or without depending on anything externally. So that's what I love about meditation in that sense. So the two things, the two sources that we're going to really dive into in this session are the breath and the meditation. Okay. All right. So the way we're going to proceed from here is I'll demonstrate and guide us all through the breathing technique, which will take about 3 to 4 minutes. And around 7:30 Eastern, we're going to dive into a guided meditation. I'm going to keep it a surprise how long this guided meditation is going to be. And I recommend that we keep our eyes closed through the meditation. Also, it's useful to sit in a comfortable position. You don't want to be laying down. You want to have your back propped up. And if possible, keep your spine straight. Or do the best you can, at least. Okay? And allow your shoulders to drop. You don't have to do that right now, once we get to the meditation. Yeah. Also, what you want to do is, if you have any electronic gadgets around you, this would be a good time to put them in a mode that they do not make any sound, whether it's music or ringing or vibrations. All right. Okay, so the breathing exercise that we're going to learn today is called the Bellows Breath. Now, some of you, most of you, may be aware of what bellows are. Anybody remember bellows? Those big giant things that ironsmiths or goldsmiths would use to push air into the furnace or into the fire. Yes, to stoke a fire. Yeah. They're huge, giant things that would go like this. So in bellows breath, we're going to use our lungs like bellows. Sounds scary? Yeah. So we're going to use the action of our hands. It looks like this. So starting position is just a loose fist, a loosely closed fist right next to our shoulders. And the elbows are tucked in close to the body. Your elbows are almost touching your ribs, or so close to the body. Right. When we're going to breathe in, we're going to raise our hands up. Just give me a second. Yeah. So you see, when I raise my hands up, my hands are going all the way up. My palms are opening, my fingers are stretched out, pointing up. Right. That's the in-breath position. And then when we breathe out, we're just going to let the hands fall, allow the gravity to bring them down and back to the starting position. Yeah.
Gil, are we breathing in through our nose or our mouth, or doesn't it make a difference?
Good question. Thank you, Melissa. Yes, so we're breathing in and out through the nose, mouth is closed. Yeah. And it's a forceful, enthusiastic breath. If we had more time, I'll show you different versions of bellows breath that I've seen over the years, but let's see, maybe if we have time towards the end. But try not to join that list of examples. This is the starting position. We breathe in, hands go up, open the palms, open the arms up, and then let them fall down, breathing out. And it goes a little faster than that, so let me demonstrate how it looks, and then we'll all do it together. Sounds good? All right, so starting position. Got it? Yeah? All right, so the first round that we're going to do, we can keep the eyes open and just watch and make sure that you're doing it the same way. And once you think you've gotten it down, then you can close the eyes and continue. All right? So let's come to the starting position. And you know, one thing you can do to really get a much deeper experience with this is do it with a slight smile on your face. Wow, I see some people smiling, yay. All right, starting position, breathe in, out, continue, And relax. When we relax, we can release our hands, bring them to our laps. Palms are facing up. And just notice your state of mind right now. Do you feel any difference from before you started this? All right, once again, we're going to do another round, and this time, see if you can keep your eyes closed. Let's bring our hands to the starting position. We'll take a deep breath in and breathe out. And with enthusiasm, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. Continue. And relax. Eyes are closed, palms are facing up in the lap. Breath is relaxed. Gentle awareness inwards. Notice how you're feeling. Notice the state of mind. Notice the energy levels. And now that we've all become a pro at this, we're going to do this one last round as if you know it. You totally know it. Right? You have nailed it now. Let's come to the starting position. Oh, feeling so confident. I know this, what I'm doing now, right? Remember that smile? Let's bring it back. Hands in starting position, take a deep breath in. And breathe out, emptying the lungs completely. And together, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. Continue. And relax. Eyes are closed. Sitting easily, comfortably. Quick check-in to see how you're doing. Check in on the energy levels. Check in on the state of mind. Check in on the heart rate. And slowly, gradually, we can open our eyes. And I would love to hear from one or two of you. How was that?
It's actually great. And I wonder if that, it seems like it might be a nice little mini exercise to do in the middle of the day if you realize your energy is kind of low like that. It seems like it would give you a really nice pick-me-up really quickly and easily.
Yeah, absolutely. You nailed it. Lisa, right?
Yes.
Yes, Lisa, you know, you've heard about the 3 p.m. coma?
I haven't heard about it formally, but I think I suffer from it regularly. So thank you for the validation.
Yes, this is my solution for the 3 p.m. coma that I always get into.
I like it.
It takes less than 2 minutes to do, and it gives me so much energy to take me through the rest of the day. So when my colleagues would run down to the cafeteria for a cup of coffee, I would run to the meeting room and just find myself a quiet corner, take 2 minutes to do the Bellows Breath, and I'm good. Yes, this is also in certain circles referred to as the yogic coffee for the reasons I just explained. Right? Also, if I'm driving late in the night, which used to happen a lot, doesn't happen a lot anymore, but if I'm driving really late and I know I'm well past my bedtime, but I just have another hour to go to reach where I have to go, I would pull over to an exit, take a couple of minutes, do the Bellows Breath, and I'm good. So use it as that espresso shot of energy or vital force whenever you need it. Yeah. See, you learned something new in about 37 minutes of being in this session, finally. Now we're going to actually dive into a guided meditation. So like I mentioned earlier, make sure your electronic devices not going to disturb you. And at this point, I encourage you to mute yourself. We're going to be sitting easily, comfortably. If you want back support, by all means, feel free to take that. If you wish, you can sit cross-legged or on a chair. Either way is fine. Just be comfortable. And not too comfortable. You don't want to be laying down on that bed. When you're in your favorite position, just notice that gravity is pulling on those shoulders. Allow those shoulders to come down just ever so slightly. If your eyes are open, this would be a good time to close them. And we'll start by just loosening up our neck a little. So however much you can do this, just roll your neck side to side, loosening up the neck joint a little bit. You can do full neck rolls if you'd like, or do the best you can. Releasing any tension we're carrying from the long day we've had today. Take a deep breath in, and with the sound, exhale. Sighing and exhaling, releasing any more tension or stress. When we exhale, just allow those shoulders to drop even more. Long, deep breath in and breathe out. Another long, deep breath in and breathe out. Let's bring our awareness to our surroundings, our environment. Notice the temperature of the room, whether you're feeling hot or cold. Notice if there's any sounds around you. Maybe there's some traffic in the background that you can hear. Maybe there's people in another room talking. Or maybe it's the air from the air conditioning unit. Or maybe you can hear the sound of your own breath. For the next few minutes, I agree to be in this environment. I drop all resistance to any sounds. Coming to a state of harmony with our surroundings. Take a deep breath in and breathe out. Let's take our awareness through our physical body. Our body is a beautiful gift from nature. It has served us for so many years. With a sense of gratitude towards our body, let's take our awareness to our feet. Notice the fact that the feet are relaxed. Let go of any tightness in the toes and the feet. Moving up to the knees. The knees are relaxed. The thighs are relaxed. Moving up to the hips. The genitals. The abdomen. Stomach. The chest. The right hand, right arm. Left hand and left arm. Shoulders. The neck and throat are relaxed. Relax the face muscles. Allow that gentle smile to creep through. Straighten out any frown on the forehead. Taking the awareness to the top of the head. Become aware of the whole body. The whole body. The whole body. Take a deep breath in and breathe out. And now bring the attention to any thoughts in the mind. The thoughts could be positive or negative or neutral. Without pushing away any thoughts, just become aware of them. Let them be. Allowing them to be there, accepting them, we come to a state of harmony with our thoughts. Deep breath in and breathe out. And let's bring our awareness to any emotions, feelings right now. Any emotions or feelings present right now. Positive or negative. Allowing them to be there. Allowing ourselves the space to experience them. We are in harmony with our feelings. You are peace. You are joy. Take a deep breath in and breathe out. And once again, becoming aware any emotions or feelings that may be present. Breathe in and breathe out. Becoming aware of any thoughts that may be present. Breathe in and breathe out. Becoming aware of the body and the surroundings, sounds, the temperature around us. Bringing the awareness to the breath that's flowing in and out on its own. Another long, deep breath in and breathing out with a sigh. One more time, breathing in. And with the next breath, you may stretch your arms, you may roll your neck. And when you feel ready, slowly, gradually, taking our own time, we can open our eyes. Good morning. Just take a moment to notice how you are doing right now. How is your state of mind right now? And if you'd like, you can share it in the chat or just speak out.
I just can't believe how relaxed I feel. Thank you so much.
Good.
It really it's wonderful feeling, especially when my brain usually doesn't stop the thoughts. So I was able to just let go. It was great. Thank you.
I'm glad to hear. Thanks, Anne.
Yeah, I actually want to pick up on that theme about what you just said, Anne, with like the letting go. One of the things that I was hoping to get from this, that I feel like you've already given me a new vocabulary to think about it, is a lot of times at night, if I can't sleep, I have this very busy mind, and I've taken various meditation classes that talk about how they're going to have you quiet your mind, but the phrase they always use is putting everything out of your head. And for me, that's really hard. And you've made me realize that maybe my focus has been wrong. I've been too busy trying to think about how to empty my brain instead of just being very present. And so I like the idea that now I can try and think about presence in a way that I haven't in the past, if I have, if and when I have that problem again. So thanks for I think a great new way to think about that.
Yeah. When is the tension the most in a spring? When you're pushing it. You stop pushing it, there's no more tension left in it, right?
Right.
Exactly. I have to comment again because I think that's what happened to me. I couldn't understand why I wasn't fighting with myself. And I think it was a different orientation or perception. I didn't have these inner voices going back and forth in conflict to try to calm myself. You told us it was okay to kind of be there with the thoughts, like be there with the emotions, be there with the thoughts. And I just kind of let go with that thought. That was really great for me.
I'm glad you're sharing all that. Did I interrupt someone who was saying something? Please go ahead.
I was just going to say, you kept saying like, just listen to the thoughts or like be there with the emotions. And it was kind of interesting, like walking yourself into the being present. I was like, oh wow, I'm really not having like a lot of thoughts right now or a lot of like overwhelming emotions. So it's really interesting just kind of stepping into that presence where you can just figure out how to just be.
Yeah. And I'll tell you one thing, the breathing that we did before plays a very important role in the depth of your meditation experience. So anytime you think that your meditations are not too deep, if you have a meditation practice, that is, then see if you can combine it with a bit of breathing before and see how it helps to deepen your practice. And if this is something you'd like to learn, I offer programs and workshops where you can really dive much deeper into this realm and expand your learning, get a big toolkit for yourself to utilize whenever you're in a situation where you need to find that grounded, centered space within. Or if you are looking for something to do on a daily basis to keep yourself in that state, my information will be in an email sent to you by Melissa. Feel free to reach out. I offer online programs as well these days. So I've been teaching these for the last 10 plus years, and I'd absolutely love to facilitate these programs for you. Also, a very good friend of mine, Satya, he's a researcher. He's done a lot of research on meditation and some specific breathing techniques that I teach. Satya is here today with us in this session. So Satya, if you'd like to go ahead and share a couple of minutes on the research benefits.
Can you all hear me okay?
Yes.
Hi everyone, my name is Satya and I'm a research scientist at the Masonic Medical Research Institute, MMRI. My specialty is in cardiology, and the second area that I research is meditation and mindfulness. So we conducted a clinical trial on this specific research on the breathing technique that Nikhil might introduce you to. It's called the sky breathing technique. like some of you shared, you had deeper meditations. We were trying to find a meditation technique that would work for people with severe opioid addiction. So these people have compromised cognitive abilities, and there are also neurological issues that prevent them from really going deep into meditation or calm their mind. And the reason we were looking at in meditation was to address the underlying causes of addiction, which is stress and also depression and anxieties. These are some of the main reasons that people resort to addiction. So we really like this breathing technique because this is physical. This is the only meditation technique that we found was physical, that people could easily see and do with their body, that will take them into meditative state. Because introducing mindfulness to this group of population would be very challenging, because you can't tell them just think of a green pasture. You don't know if they are or if they aren't, and it's also tough for them to really think about something specific. So asking them to breathe in this specific way, and also asking them to breathe using the sky breathing pattern, was easier. And I'm actually writing up this paper today. I was working on it today. The results are in, and 3 different parameters, we see a significant improvement. The first one was stress. We measured the stress using a scale called Perceived Stress Scale, or PSS. And we do see a significant decrease in the stress parameters in these patients. Have you heard of the hormone called cortisol? So that's the stress hormone, right? So we do see a significant decrease in their biological levels of this hormone. And the other parameter we saw an improvement was depression. We do see a decrease in clinical depression as measured by a scale called Hospital Anxiety and Depression Scale, HADS. And we also see an improvement in the anxiety levels. Improvement in the sense there is less anxiety after going through this. And this we did for 30 days. So it's 5 days they learn. They take 5 days to practice the sky technique. And we measured them before learning this technique and a month after learning this technique. And the results were pretty impressive, given the fact that this was a tough population to work with. So yeah, I'm very excited about the research to see that change in such a small period of time. If you have an option, definitely try it out.
Thank you, Satya. Satya also teaches these programs, and he's based out of Albany, New York. Both me and him, we've been trained. We've taken 1,000+ hours of training to become facilitators for these techniques and programs. So I know we're running out of time. So
question, I guess.
I do have a question. So
yes,
you said that they did this program for a month, learned it for 5 days, and then, so how did they do it for 20 minutes a day, or how often were they doing it?
So when you're learning, so the breathing technique, the sky breathing technique is around 30 minutes long. And then on the last day, they learned a way to do it by themselves at home. And that is the really great part about it. You don't need someone to guide you, to train you. Once you learn it during those 5 days, they'll teach you how to do it yourself. And it takes around 20 minutes every day for them to do it. So they were doing it for like 20 minutes a day for a month. Yeah.
And it's 5 days for that population. For general population, it's only a 3-day workshop, 3 hours each day. Typically, we offer this on a weekend, so Friday evening, 6 to 9, and Saturday, Sunday also for 3 hours each. And that's it. In 9 hours, you are an expert in taking control back of your mind. How cool is that?
Very cool. I guess so we'll be back next Monday for some more cool stuff from Nikhil. So yeah, we are unfortunately a little over time even, but Nikhil, any last thoughts you'd like to share with everyone?
Yeah, come back next Monday.
Right. Well,
bring your friends,
thank you so
bring
much.
your families, and bring anybody you'd like to introduce them to breathing meditation. Bring them along. They don't have to be UAlbany alum to be part of this session. Just feel free to share the love.
Thank you.
Fabulous. Good night, everybody.
Night.
Everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Satya, if you can stay back for a couple of minutes.
Sure, yeah, I would love to. If any, Melissa, any questions, any
It-
more?
Well, it was really interesting, the research, and I think that's always helpful for people to hear. Okay, it feels good, right? And but is it really going to help me, right? And so when you can kind of show the research, or show examples to people where, hey, this really does have a long-term impact. I think that's pretty powerful. So I'm glad that you were able to share that.
Absolutely. I mean, if it's not too much, maybe some of the future sessions I can actually show the scientific data as well. And all this is available. All you have to do is Google the meditation called Sky, SKY meditation. If you Google it, all the research comes up.
Well, yeah, I mean, we have limited time here, but I'll send an email out to everyone each week before our Monday session. So that's another place where I can include information. We can include, if it's easy to Google, if you give me a URL, we can put that in the chat and share it with people. Encourage them, also outside of the hour that we have together to explore a little bit more. I mean, it certainly seemed like pretty much everybody who got on stayed on, which to me, right, is always a good sign. Because people, if they're bored, they're like, yeah, I'm out of here, right? But our numbers stayed kind of consistent, so people clearly were engaged in what you were sharing with us.
Absolutely. And I actually did this series at my workplace at IBM Research, and we collected some data as well on just the value of the session, the impact of the session that we just did on people. And let me share screen, because this is some cool statistic we collected.
Was this after the 4 sessions, or however many sessions you did?
This was after each session.
Oh, after each session.
Yeah.
Yeah, I normally I will do a survey. I wasn't thinking to do one after each session, although different people will attend different sessions. So
So if you look at this first one, this was the session that we did today. It's titled differently here, but the content was pretty much the same. We looked at people's ability to focus before and after. And you can see there's an increase in 45%.
Yeah, I think you showed this to me, because I remember being quite impressed by these numbers, from just the
did
beginning
I?
of,
okay.
Yeah, just from the beginning of, to where they were, it was pretty significant jumps.
Yeah.
Well, we certainly can. I think we have the ability to do polls here. So we could, if you wanted in a future session, poll everybody at the beginning and then poll them at the end and see what kind of numbers we get.
Yeah, I've actually learned that it's best to just poll at the end and look at the improvement, the scale of improvement, and people can just answer one question instead of 2.
What were you feeling at the beginning and how are you feeling now? Yeah, certainly could do that.
Yeah, sounds good. So we're off to a good start.
How was it doing this virtually versus being in a room? I have to feel like it's different, because you can't get that same energy back through the computer, right? Is it different for you?
I think this was a great audience. So people were very, responsive. They were answering questions. They were laughing, smiling, giving me reactions, sending me some private messages in the chats every so often. So I think this is a very engaging group, which is great. It really sets me up to really do the best. So yeah, it was encouraging to see that people were so excited and so enthusiastic about it. And let's see how it goes next week. I'm excited for that too.
Me too.
Yeah, we've been doing this on Zoom for a good year, like almost a year now. So I think I've made peace with it. I didn't like it initially.
I mean, I was teaching it with Zoom and I was amazed that it even works. Like, it works as well as it works in person. So this is amazing. Yeah.
So yeah, I've made peace with it that this is how it is right now, and let's see how it goes. And like Satya said, it works just the same.
Yeah, I mean, especially, once I close my eyes, it's like you're just in the room, so
Exactly, right?
that
And
perspective, yeah.
and this lets us reach to people who we wouldn't have reached otherwise,
Yeah, oh, very much so. Yeah.
Yeah.
No question. That is the awesome thing about Zoom, right?
It's
As
taught
much
us
as we
that.
all wish we could be back together, the reality is that Zoom allows us to engage and gather with so many more people than we could before. So
Absolutely.
yeah, I think we chatted a little bit at this. It'll be interesting to see once we can go back to doing things in person.
Yeah.
What we will choose to do in person and how much we will continue to do.
I think there'll be some hybrid model where people can join in person, and then there's also a live stream that's going out. So
I think we will see a lot of that kind of combination. Yeah,
Yeah.
It makes a lot of sense.
yeah, just like sporting events, right?
Yeah, true.
Cool. All right, Melissa, if you have any more questions for me, I'm happy to stay back.
Oh, no, I'm good. I'm nice and relaxed. That felt awesome. The neck's all good. I'm like,
Good.
I will. I may try and practice that bellows breath. It felt a little funny at first, but once I got into it, I'm like, oh,
Right?
it does feel
Yeah.
better. Done with it. It's like,
Don't try to do it before bedtime.
don't
Ever.
try and do it.
No, it'll
No.
wake you up.
Oh, it wakes you up too. Oh, that's true. It's true. But I don't need that because I don't sleep to begin with. So yeah.
Yeah. Keep at least an hour between that and your bedtime. Always. Should have said that in the session.
Well, we can remind them next. All right, fabulous. Well,
Yes,
thank you so
yes.
much. Have a wonderful night.
Yes.
Is it pronounced Satya?
Yeah, Satya.
Satya. Have a wonderful night as well. Thank you very much for joining us and kind of sharing your research. Yeah. All right.
I've asked him to join all the sessions,
Okay.
but it may need your persuasion to convince him to do so.
Well, let's see. Do you have research to share on each area of focus each week?
Absolutely, yeah.
Well, there you go.
Of research every week.
All right. Sounds like a deal. We'd love to have you.
Awesome.
Yes. So I'll reply to your email, Melissa, and I'll copy Satya so you have his contact as well.
Okay.
And he's local to you, so as I said, feel free to use his immense capabilities and expertise in going beyond what I'm even capable of.
Sounds good.
Being generous.
All right, gentlemen. Have a good night.
Good night.
Bye.